In this topic, you will learn about the target customer for the project management module. The project management solution initially targets the manufacturing industry sector. In this version, the project management solution is designed for the company that orders 50 to 80% of their products. These customers will be able to manage their products to make or buy and manage their resources. The next release of the project management solution will be designed to better satisfy the needs of service companies. There are significant benefits thanks to the full integration of the project management module with Sage X3 core functions, including CRM, sales, purchasing, manufacturing, and finance. This solution saves time, improves efficiency, and provides greater visibility and control of your projects. The capacity to manage project costs using a cost breakdown, the ability to manage the operations through the work and product breakdown structure are the main advantages. Sage X3 Project Management has the capacity to manage planning and quotations, manage budgets and control costs, organize and allocate resources, and create documents. It is available from version 11 and it replaces the existing MPM add-on function. Projects can be defined across two different structures in order to control the costs and delays in resources. They are cost structure and task planning. The costs are managed through the budget definition that provides a real-time control of the provisional cost price. Delays and resources are managed through the task definition. The budget and task structures are independent. A budget level can be linked to 0 or many tasks. A task can be linked to one budget level. The link between task and budget allows expenses to be consolidated based on the budget structure. It is possible to link direct expenses on a budget level, such as expense notes, business partner invoices, and time entries. In our example, we have a project to build a tower crane. Operational structure comprises labor elements in the form of a work breakdown structure and product elements in the form of a product breakdown structure. The work breakdown structure, or WBS, is a tool used to define and group a project's discrete work elements or tasks. This is done in a way that helps organize and define the total work scope of the project. It provides a framework for detailed cost estimating and cost controls, along with providing guidance for schedule development and control. The product breakdown structure, or PBS, is an exhaustive hierarchical tree structure of components that make up an item. The cost structure breakdown, or CBS, classifies the costs within the project into cost units, cost centers, cost elements, and cost types. The establishment of a cost structure aids in the efficient cost planning, controlling, and measures to reduce costs. The budget structure is used for tracking costs. The WBS and PBS are used for tracking dates and delays. Both structures can be organized in an identical way, or each structure can be completely different. The design of your structure will be determined by the level of detail and control you want for your project. You might want to control and track your project at the summary level or at the detailed level. Additionally, the operation structure can be modified during the project while the costing structure remains stable. The budget codes are used to describe the forecasting of expenditures for the project. Each code is defined according to a cost type. Regarding labor expenses, the budget line has to be defined with quantity, a time unit, and an amount. If a labor rate is defined for the cost type, the amount is automatically calculated. It is possible to manage an activation date for each rate of a labor cost type. For material expenses, only the amount is entered. On the detailed view of a budget line, a financial follow-up of the line is calculated in real time to provide the committed and carried out quantities and amounts. At this step, if needed, it is possible to set the re-estimated remaining quantity and amount to be committed. This will have a direct effect on the provisional cost price calculation of the project. In this example of the budget block, the labor budget line electronic design has not been re-estimated. The planned budget quantity is 20 hours with a unit price of 60 euros. Hence, the calculated budget amount is 1,200 euros. A labor task had been planned for 10 hours on this budget code, and some time entries have also been created on this labor task for 8 hours. In the financial situation block, the actual quantity is 8 hours due to time entries, and the committed quantity is 2 hours because this is the remaining workload on the task. In the remaining block, the left to commit quantity is 10 hours because compared to the budget quantity of 20 hours, 10 hours have already been planned on a task, so it has remaining 10 hours to commit. Every line in the project budget structure must be assigned to a cost type to value the quantity of material or time. Project cost types define types of costs that can affect a project such as raw materials, labor costs, and overhead. They are also linked to products, users, or work centers for actual management. For labor, they can define default saleable service products and an hourly rate. You can also define the dimension types and dimensions of your project. The multi-level task structure allows the definition of the macro tasks and operational task levels. The lowest levels are considered as operational tasks and can't contain sub-levels. It is mandatory to link an operational task to a chargeable budget to be able to launch a task. A macro task can be launched. This action will automatically launch all the subtasks. According to the task category management, tasks can be defined as labor tasks, material task, or mixed labor and material task. Labor tasks support the time management. Material tasks support the material management, for example, products, bills of material, and requirements. The labor tasks are used to describe the detailed operations to be executed. Operations dates must match the start and end date defined on the task. The minimum information to enter an operation is the planned resource, the planned quantity, and the time unit. Operations support the workload management and time entries. The remaining quantity on the operations decreases when employees enter time data. It is possible to re-estimate manually the remaining quantity on an operation. It is possible to assign employees to an operation. The selection is based on the Sage X3 user records. For an employee, the planning can be defined in details with a date, a time, and planned quantity according to the start and end dates and to the planned load defined on the task. A list of employees involved in the project can be defined at the project header level and will be used to filter the employees that can be assigned to an operation. This employee planning is also used to prepare the timesheet of each employee. The valuation is defined according to the following principles. When the task is launched, a commitment is created in the project based on the remaining quantities and amounts. The valuation for the committed amount is based on the costing dimension of the planned work centers. Time entries increase the carried out quantities and amounts. The valuation for the carried out amounts can be set with the hourly rate of the employees or the hourly rate defined on the planned operation. Note, it is possible to automatically generate the budget lines based on the planned labor task. The material tasks allow components follow-up. With the manufacturing process, it is possible to link finished or semi-finished products to the task. The product version, if managed, and the quantity have also been entered. Launching the task will generate a new dedicated MRP requirement. That will be integrated into the standard MRP calculation. Components on projects are followed up according to the project management methods. Special products are purchased on demand. Special products manufactured on demand, or stock components. An automatic orders assignment rule based on the homogeneous project criteria will have to be defined to link all orders dedicated to a material task. If the products launched are semi-finished products, it should also be possible to execute the assembly directly from the tasks. This flow is supported by common data such as customers, if not an internal project, products, work centers, and user records. There are 3 steps to project setup. Start by creating a cost type, which allows you to value the time tracked against the project, the material requirements, and the indirect cost. Then, create a task category for grouping tasks and to identify if the task is labor or material type. And finally, create a financial overview structure, which allows you to customize the information to take into account the financial project reporting requirements. This step is not mandatory if you are satisfied with the preset structure. The project creation itself is simple. It can be done by entering the header information and the project characteristics. It's also possible to assign employees to the project, associate other projects, add competitor information, and to assign the analytical dimension codes. To simplify the project creation, you can copy a predefined project template as well as existing projects. The project planning starts with manual creation of the budget structure and then the creation of the operational structure to plan and organize the tasks. To do so, you will identify the macro tasks, task groups, operational tasks, and for each labor task, you assign the resource, estimate each task, and schedule each task. Material tasks can be created as well on a manufactured product. This will trigger a requirement in MRP with a due date equal to the end date of the task. Material tasks can be set to drive product delivery if not driven by the related sales order. Note, to ease the project creation, it is possible to define project templates. Project follow-up is based on status change, expenses follow-up, and re-estimation of the remaining budget. The project status progression is normally new, launched, delivered, and closed. Upon closure, All of the related project budgets, project tasks, and project operations will also be closed. Once closed, the project cannot be modified. To follow the project budget, you can use the budget code status. The status is set to open when the project is launched. The standard cycle is open, delivered, and closed. You can update your initial budget if the project hasn't started or re-estimate the budget. Tracking time is important to both track delays and budget consumption. Time spent on projects can be entered and tracked by employee. The planned load will be consumed accordingly, and the summary block in the header information will be updated. Time entries are validated by the time entry administrator. Time entries are valued differently if tracked against task operations or specific task or specific budget codes. Ultimately, the financial overview allows inquiries per cost structure or per cost type, including the expense details. You now understand the customer needs that can be addressed with the project management solution and the scope of the solution.